Assault and Battery. Hosted by
Jeans
and Kelly. Forget what you know. Forget what you know. Assault and Battery.
Coushatta. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Assault and Battery. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Jeans, YEUNGJEANS on Instagram and Twitter.
And we are back again to talk about one of my absolute favorite episodes in season 4 and one of my favorite episodes in all of Better Call Saul so far, Coushatta, which I had no idea what it was until I watched this episode. Did you know going in?
It's a real place. I just looked it up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It's the only thing real about it based on this episode.
Sure.
But we will discuss that further. Okay, we'll get the regular order of business out of the way. We'll do the speed recap, and then Jeans will kind of pace us through the episode, and I will offer wry observations. So, Jimmy begins to support the Greyhound Academy. Werner is apparently only book smart. Mrs. Nguyen has a rare set of kind words and booze and cucumber water for Jimmy. ADA Eckerson is the mom, plays the mom, and Mike plays the dad in this episode. The film crew returns. Kim is going bad girl, and Lalo arrives. So, the end. Big moments for me in this episode. I get very excited with the film crew, and even though he's a horrible bad person, I truly enjoy the Lalo character quite a bit.
Okay. All right. Well, we start out with Jimmy on a bus writing a bunch of letters. So we left off with Kim saying that she had an idea of buying a bunch of stationery and pens and things like that, saying she had an idea for Huel's case. And we start out this episode. He's on a bus writing letters, lots and lots of letters, having his fellow bus riders write letters. He's paying them.
After he used the chili cheese fry defense early in the trip to keep a seatmate away, which I guess is...
Yeah, I do. I feel like chili cheese fries with onions solves all of life's problems, including having someone sit next to you.
Apparently. I'll have to try it.
Yeah, he's got stuff he's doing, and there were other places to sit. That guy did not need to sit with him, so I don't blame him.
No, and this is the first moment of several moments in this episode where you really see kind of Saul Goodman shining through Jimmy or whatever combination here, because this is wheeling and dealing, paying people. Was it $1? So I was having a hard time catching the denomination, but I think he was paying him $1 a letter, 50 cents for a postcard. Does that sound about right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I'd have gotten some of that. I'd have taken some of that action.
Out of his Velcro wallet.
Of course, yes. You do notice that.
I do. He's a grown man with a Velcro wallet.
Well, and he's doing the whole kind of high schooler, oh, my hand, I'm writing too much, it's cramping up.
Well, and he's holding the pen in weird ways. He's trying to create different types of handwriting, because obviously if you have a bunch of letters showing up and it's all the same handwriting, it's going to be very obvious. And he's holding it like he's holding the pen like this, and he's holding it like this. He's trying to do all which would get annoying after a while. So, but yeah. And I have to say, the movie escapes me, but it was with Ryan Gosling and 40-year-old virgin guy. What is his name?
Steve Carell. right?
Yes, with the two of them, and Gosling goes to like give him fashion pointers, takes him to the mall to like tell him how to dress, and when Carell takes out his Velcro wallet, he gets slapped. So I am not the only one.
I think it's a Velcro wall to lead us to camp that's out there, but that's
I will do that with Gosling. That's fine. I have no
okay.
problem with that.
All right, yeah, it's fair enough.
Me and Gosling against the Velcro wallet world. We got this.
That's right, and I'm sure Nacho does not have a Velcro wallet.
I'm certain he does not have one.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has one on a chain, though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. All right. So, and then we do have to go to Nacho for a little bit, and he sets one of his dealers to sets him on the right path. A dealer that does not have his take.
Yeah, so as president of the Nacho fan club, did you feel he perhaps went a little far in making his point, ripping the gentleman's earring out of his ear?
I feel like for a normal person, that's a little much. But I feel like for keeping a drug dealer in line, someone who says he doesn't have his money and is clearly wearing it, that's not what you want to do. You don't want to show up wearing what you owe and not paying what you owe. I think that was a very clear message. This isn't borrowing office supplies. They're dealing drugs, and so yes. Do I think personally that's like not the way I would handle things, but I'm also not peddling drugs. So
okay, all right.
So then he goes home to his girlfriends.
Yeah, the Nacho's Angels. what some fine catches those are.
Tosses him some drugs. Like it's almost like he's walking through the house, like tossing steaks at a couple of like guard dogs. Like they had that kind of a feel to it. He just kind of walks through, tosses some drugs to his girlfriends, and then goes and checks everything that's in the safe. Yeah. It was a weird situation.
It was kind of like feeding the cats. It was.
Or feeding the cats. Well, there you go. I'm 12. We're gonna ignore that. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
It goes directly.
I know.
It goes directly from there to the strip club, where Mike is doing some babysitting. Poor guy.
Yeah, not Mike's usual hangout, I would say.
No, and I'm not saying poor guy because he has to go to a strip club. I'm sure that's not the hard part. The hard part is Kai, and apparently the Germans don't know how to hold their liquor, which I find interesting, but they're also under duress. So
yeah, I think they've been boxed up for a while, so they may have really been cutting loose. And there's nothing, what could be worse than getting Kai, a man of no judgment to begin with, sober, drunk. That's really drunk. That's not a good thing.
No, and obviously something goes wrong because they have to fetch Mike, and Kai has been escorted out and is trying to get back in the bar. And you don't really understand exactly what happens, just that it has gone horribly awry. It's supposed to be no touching. And so you kind of like initially you're like, oh, so he just put his hands on her. Like, not that that's okay. Don't get me wrong. But Mike, as they get Kai out of the parking lot and headed towards the vehicle, Mike asks the bouncer, like, is she okay? And he said his reply is, I've seen worse, implying that it wasn't just him being pervy. Maybe it was a little violent, and Kai is worse human being than we had even thought to begin with.
I mean, it doesn't. I thought he's pretty horrible. So this is I'm disappointed but not surprised at Kai's behavior. So
yeah, not good. And Mike then heads back into the bar to find Werner running off at the mouth about engineering feats.
Yeah, and you feel for Werner because he just does appear to be kind of lonely. He's been away from his wife the longest time ever. He just also seems like a kind of a kindly, gregarious guy, and so just correcting the guy on how to say the German beer and all that kind of stuff was cool. So he's a really kind of charming guy, but he needs to remember he's working for Gus Fring.
Yeah, he's not in a
good.
gangster mindset. So he definitely does not, it doesn't occur to him that perhaps he's running off about things a little too much, and that it's not just a secret project, it's a secret life. You can't be letting people know where you're from and what you're doing, and yeah, and he's just lonely, the poor guy. Like he said, he's been married for 26 years. He's never been away from his wife this long. We're getting the picture that it's gone beyond the 6 month original estimation. I think we're looking at somewhere around like 8 months now, maybe a little bit longer even. And that's a long time for someone to be away from, the most important person in their life. That's difficult, and he's lonely, and he's primed on liquor.
Yeah, and he's when he goes back, there's going to be Kai. So it's like there's no way that guy wins.
No, not good. Oh my gosh. So then we cut to Kim working on Huel's case. She's got her headphones on. She's in the zone. Jimmy comes up and he's like, all right, I'm going to go to the nail salon and set up all the phones in the back room. And she just kind of dismisses him.
Yep.
All right, go along. Like I said, she's kind of in the zone. She's got her music cranking. She's going,
Yep, and you get the kind of long shot of Jimmy at the doorway, kind of, I'm in trouble. This isn't good.
Yeah. Yeah, and the owner of the salon notices that.
Yes, she does, and this I think is the nicest she's ever been that I've, at least in the show that I've seen, the nicest
True.
that she's ever. She's offering advice and alcohol, and she's not ripping on them. She's picking up on what's going on. So it was nice to see she has a little bit of a soft spot in her heart for Jimmy. So that was nice.
Yeah, I love that her solution to any problem is just take her to a nice restaurant with a waiter and cloth napkins and apologize.
Yep. It's not bad advice.
Who needs that information is the guy who bought his wife a vacuum. I feel like that's information he needs to have.
See, if only.
The copier guy needs that information.
Yeah, Jimmy should give her his number. You need to clue this fella in.
Yeah. So Jimmy just says, I think we're beyond that. Like he kind of knows he's in the doghouse in a very weird way. So, oh my gosh. So then Kim goes and visits the assistant district attorney.
With 4 associates in tow.
True. Yeah. And really, she's kind of hassling the district attorney at this point. We're going to be looking into the police officer, his record, and kind of, we want to see what, if maybe there's some issues there. And they want to try and get the footage from cameras that were in the area where Huel accosted the police officer with a bag of sandwiches.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, even though no one was contesting that information. And it's funny because the district attorney doesn't seem to think any of this is necessary. And it just kind of, there's like a little red flag that goes off in my head when people behave that way, because this is 18 months worth of prison. So yes, it's worth a little bit of looking into. Like, I don't understand the way that she just thinks that I get it. It's her job. On the other hand, this is a human being who has to go to prison. And yeah, it's worth looking at some video footage, and it's worth checking into it and just kind of, making sure that all of our, as they like to say, all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. But she just doesn't see it that way at all. And she puts her mom pants on, which it just annoys me so much.
Okay, we want to put a pin in that. So we're going to put a pin in annoyed jeans here. So, okay. Let's keep that on the board. But yeah, she really, while she's frustrated that they're coming at her with all this stuff, she's not really dissuaded at all. It's like, fine, do whatever you want to do. He's still doing 18 months, which seems it's a red flag.
So she has a little discussion with Kim, sort of like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Why are you throwing all this money at this case? Don't you like it? Just very, you're grounded sort of sounding. Just, do you know what I mean? It just not your fellow professionals, get over yourself. I don't know. She bothered me greatly.
Okay. Still got a pin in that.
And then Mike has to play a little bit of dad.
Yeah,
we see
take that pin back out now.
So, beep, beep, beep. So
Mike does the dad thing, in a very stern dad. I think a dad you don't want to cross, and he's letting Werner know, and I think it's sinking in, but I still don't think Werner realizes how dangerous it was what he did because of Gus.
No, he is obviously future events. It's not sinking in as well as it could. I think in the moment, I think he's a little scared, but it does not look like it sinks in as much as it should.
Oh, it's concerning because I like Werner a lot, and so
I do.
He needs to be careful. He really needs to be
Yeah,
careful.
I mean, he seems like a very sweet person. He's just lonely. Yep. And then we have Neelix. We have the judge. I love him. And my favorite phrase of the entire episode, he calls Kim and the assistant district attorney into his office to discuss the case because he's gotten a slew of letters making Huel sound like Santa Claus, and he calls them swamp-dwelling do-gooders, which I just died.
Yeah, I think he was referring to Huel as a swamp-dwelling do-gooder. He says, I don't want this swamp-dwelling do-gooder tying up my court. Oh, and all the people that would be coming from
Yes.
Coushatta, not Coushatta, but
Yes.
Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a funny scene. He's good comic relief in there, and he's like, "What are you doing? You're trying to arrest Santa Claus? Or are you trying to put Santa Claus in jail?" He's not happy, and he's telling him to work it out.
Yeah, and Kim is like, "We've tried."
Yep. Try again.
And you don't get to hear the details, but clearly it works because Kim gets out of there and sees Jimmy in the hallway. She gets out of talking to the district attorney, sees Jimmy in the hallway. They go into like a back staircase, and she just accosts Jimmy in the best way possible.
But there's a little bit before that.
Is there?
Yeah, I think because we've got to have all the phone calls.
Oh my God! Yes, the district attorney calling people out of the letters.
Yeah. Just a miracle of writing, a wonderful scheme, awesomeness. I'm a huge fan of the junior J.J. Abrams led film crew that Jimmy has brought to bear, and so they're part of the sound crew and whatever for all these. Jimmy's got all the phones laid out on the desk, all the numbers. There's a lot of logistics that they had to get buttoned up to make this all work, including so the phones and the film crew and the young lady who's taking acting classes. I loved all of that. Improv, that's right. Improv classes. Loved all of that. But I think I laughed the most at the website because they go to the church, because the DA's not buying any of this, so she's calling to find out. Gets the information, and she's like snapping at a guy to bring up this website. And this website's just a slideshow of Huel raking the leaves, Huel painting the church, and it's basically a fan site for Huel. And he's just hilarious pictures of Huel, big smile on his face, doing all sorts of swamp-dwelling do-gooder things.
Yes, doing do-gooder things. I have to ask, did you get nervous at all when Jimmy answered the phone? He has a very distinct voice, accent or not. He has a very distinct voice.
He does. I mean, he was full Cajuning it.
He was.
But it is a kind of, and because even though he was doing a big heavy Cajun accent, his there are parts of kind of Bob Odenkirk's delivery or Jimmy's delivery of just how he speaks that is very unique and identifiable. So yeah,
His sound, the sound of his voice is very particular. There's a certain sort of softness to it, and he has a very soothing voice. But it's unique. He doesn't sound like anybody else. Even when he puts on the accent, it's still very much him. And I was just like, when I saw him in the hallway after Kim gets done talking to the DA, I was like, don't let him say anything in front of her. I was like so nervous.
Yeah.
He does a good pastor.
It was, although he's being judged a little bit by J.J. Abrams Jr. during the delivery. But yeah, it was great audio visual on that because he had the organ going. He had the guy, I gotta go back to the vestibule, and he turned the music down a little bit. It was very well done, and
they had a good 40 or 50 phones on that desk waiting, for the district attorney to call, and she just happened to call the church one, which was his shining moment.
Yep, and then he cuts out and is like, he's done. He's kept the church phone in case she calls back.
Right.
And has left the film crew there to answer every third call, stick to the script, and they're like, we got to keep staying.
30 seconds or less they were supposed to talk.
Yep.
And then they want to go home. You're paid for the day. You're sticking around.
That's right. I don't know.
Huh?
I was going to say the improv girl's going to have a hard time because she's starting to world build a little now. She's starting to really get into character.
She also has a very distinct voice, so yes.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm very high pitched and sort of, yeah.
I love them. They're awesome. So much. They're my nacho.
All right, fair enough. So after that, the DA and Kim have a discussion that we don't get to hear, and then Kim accosts Jimmy in the best way possible.
Yep. Yes, which again, props to Ray Seahorn and really the other actress as well, because we get none of the dialogue, and we're seeing through one of those kind of long rectangular windows in a courtroom, we're seeing their interaction.
Yeah. And
you can tell it's a good day for Kim, and it's a bad day for the assistant district attorney, because Kim's kind of leaning back and smiling, and the DA's got her hands on the table, her shoulders are hunched, and we don't get a word of it, but you're like, this is not going well for the assistant district attorney.
No.
But it went well for Jimmy.
Yes, it went very well for Jimmy.
Kind of surprised. I assume you were?
I did not see that coming as a response, no. So, but apparently it was very redeeming for him. So
I think Kim likes the game. She likes the game. She likes the scam.
Yeah. Because I don't see a conversation in which the pastor did not come up. I'm sure the district attorney had plenty to say about what the pastor said and, the people that she talked to. And so, Whew. So, yeah, they're in bed, and that's fun.
Yep.
he's talking in his Cajun pastor accent, and
and it was the runner-up, swamp dwelling do-gooders. I agree with you, the best line of it. But second is crawdads in your pants is not a thing. I thought that was a pretty good line too.
That is a good one. Yes. All right, and then we move on from there. Kim is in a meeting with Kevin, who is the Mesa Verde bank owner.
Kind of a butthead.
Whatever you want to call him. Yeah. He wants to change designs on a building that has already been approved. And she tells him it's probably not a good idea.
I had to ask. It's like, did you? Did you really?
Did you, Kevin? I feel like you're a little greedy, Kevin. Yeah. But yeah. Okay.
Keeping on this timeline and changing up like that, not going to happen. So
yeah.
Kim shuts him down. Looking a little distracted the whole time.
Yes, very, very. And then Mike updates Fring on the accident that we saw happen in the last episode down in the cave that all the boys are working in. updates him on the cement form that they broke and the support beam that they broke, and kind of how far back that sets them. It's not that long, technically it could have been worse. And he talks to them about the rock that needs to be blasted through for the elevator shaft.
Yep. And Gus asks him about Werner, and
Yeah.
Mike vouches for him, which I think that's out of the goodness of his heart, because Mike's pretty good at reading people, and if I was able to pick up, I don't know if this is totally sinking in for Werner. I know Mike has to pick up to say, I don't know if this is landing as much as it should, but he says he's good, and you're telling Gus he's good.
That's then your problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a big bet to place.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Cut from there to an office that Jimmy's looking at with a rat infestation problem and water damage. And
I believe the rat infestation problem has been handled, according to the realtor. That's been resolved. The water, however, that you see dripping and the big hole in the wall, which looks like it came from a rat, not so much. And it's a very bleak 1984 looking kind of office complex, little mini mall. And it was a little sad moment because you see Jimmy's come to terms with there's not going to be any Wexler or McGill. And so he had told Kim, I'm going to go out and look for office space. And he's like, I thought you already found one. He goes, well, it's more office than I need, because he was buying it or wanting to buy it with the idea she was going to move in. And
that big partner room in the back. Yeah. So, but she catches him there. And I think that the building itself really is hideous. It's smaller on the bottom and bigger on the top, which was the weird, like 70s, 80s design. And it's gross. She says she saw his esteem in the parking lot, which always makes me laugh.
Yes. Because he has no esteem. With the car he's parking there, he has no esteem. It's the irony of owning an esteem.
His only esteem is the car.
It's the name of the inappropriate.
Also has no esteem. Yes. Yeah. His yellow little crap box car.
And Jimmy's all getting in apology mode for all, Kim's got an idea or she's got something, she's been thinking about stuff, and Jimmy starts to go through all the things he's done wrong and he'll be better.
Well, because some of what they did was, there's mail fraud and there's a lot of things that she could get in trouble for, So, I mean, if a judge ever found out, woo.
Yeah. Season 2 Kim would not have cotton to this, I don't think.
Maybe not, yeah. But so he goes through this lengthy list of all of the mistakes that they made, and sort of from a legal standpoint and otherwise, just legal and moral. It's a lengthy list.
There's a lot.
And I'm sorry, it's buttoned up. We're not going to do that anymore. And what does she say?
I want to do it again.
Exactly. More.
And Jimmy's like, huh? He's processing for the remainder of the episode, the remainder of the scene. But you kind of see earlier when she was in her banking hell, she pulled out the bottle top from the tequila. That's kind of always been a touchstone towards Giselle, and I can't remember what Jimmy's alias is, but those guys. Right. Victor and Giselle.
Yes, when he taught her first con to try and get money out of that I don't know, investment guy.
Yeah, Ken wins. Ken.
Yeah, and they ended up with the check. She just never did anything with it. But so that was a little reminder of her days as a bad girl, which she does like. So.
Yes, she did, apparently.
Yeah. Last scene is Nacho meeting Eduardo.
But he can call him Lalo.
I whatever he's cooking, it looks good. I don't know.
I really,
you're dancing and cooking it. I'm like, I want some. I don't.
There's not a lot of good things to say about the Salamanca. What was that?
I said I just cursed. You're gonna have to beep that out.
Nah, we're fine. we're fine. the Salamancas, in my opinion, aren't good for a lot. But apparently, they're pretty good cooks. Because Tuco could cook up some mean stuff in Breaking Bad, and Lalo is even apparently more of a cook.
Yeah, no, it looked amazing. It was making me hungry. So,
Yes. Yes, it was.
but it's I don't know it's a very invasive way to introduce yourself, rather than coming in and having Nacho be in a seat of power where he would normally be. While people check in, he's sort of in the kitchen acting like he owns the place already.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very, I think, unnerving for Nacho when he comes in, just, like, who is this guy? What, like, now what, And of course his response is like, Salamanca. Like, more.
Yep.
Great. Like,
yeah, and and this is what I actually just love about the Lalo character is he says nothing but incredibly nice things
mm-hmm.
the entire time he's there, but you still walk away with a overriding sense of menace. This isn't. But I mean, if you just look at his line, everything he's like, "Here, have some food. It's really good. You ought to try that. You're not even gonna know I'm here."
Yeah, they told me you were smart, and here you are. Look at you. Yes, you are. You're very smart. Like, just, do you want something to eat? I'd like to feed you. But at the same time, he's invasive and menacing, and it's a very strange combination.
Yep. And then he goes and he kind of sidles up to the power chair, and invites Nacho to come join him.
Yes, isn't that nice of him? That's it.
Yep. We can see Nacho's furrowed brow through the back of his head. It's the last scene is a shot from behind, but you go, oh, he's got a furrowed brow. He's got that concerned Nacho look going.
Yeah.
But I love this episode. It's fun. It has a couple of some of my favorite characters. Has a really good Saul Goodman-esque scam going on. Good humor to it. And we get the introduction of Lalo, so it just aces in my book. Big thumbs up for this episode.
Yeah, there was some good levity in this. We don't always get that, and there were some good bits in there where it was just where you could breathe. So It was good. Which we, in previous episodes when it's just sort of setting things up, there's not much of that, if any at all. And some of it, can be a little drama heavy, and we don't get any there either. So this was good. This was a nice little break.
Yep, it's coming off the heels of Pinata, which was also fun at the tail end. So good stuff there as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for this week. Jeans and I would like to thank you all for listening. If you get a chance, and go to YouTube, subscribe to the Bog Panda YouTube channel, where you will get this, plus a couple other podcasts and other stuff that'll probably continue to be added. So variety packs, take a look at it. But we really do appreciate folks turning in. So thanks for watching, folks.
Please and thank you.